Welcome to Message from God with Carolina. This is another word that God is relaying into me right now about preparation. And He gave me the title, Preparing You for Something Greater. Now, I know a lot of us, we are hopeful and in faith for specific things in our lives, right? God knows exactly what we're dealing with. Only God knows what we're struggling with and what we actually desire in our hearts. He knows exactly what we need. And so we start to have those individual relationships with God that are very custom made to our purpose, you know? So He is showing me and has been teaching me, this is why I'm able to share it, that as we have been standing in faith for certain things, there comes a time when you realize that those things are not objective anymore. So many times we're praying for that because it's not here now, right? It's something that we don't see and manifested yet, and we're just believing it to take place. But since God is so close to us in this hour, as far as making big moves, He is trying to shift our, or kind of give us a reality check. He's trying to give us a reality check that this is it. These things are happening, and it's not a matter of getting nervous. It's not a matter of imagining how He's going to do it, but He wants you to realize that it's not going to be objective anymore. You're actually walking in it, and that is the exact transition between going from one room to another. When you go through a doorway, right? The floor might change, the paint might change, the circumstance changes. So there's that shift from one place to another. And He's telling you that you're literally in that moment right now. And so in different phases of our approach to these blessings or these prayers being answered, there's different kinds of preparation. Sometimes God will really work with you to work on your mental preparation. Sometimes your physical preparation, your emotional preparation, your closeness with the Word, your confidence in Christ. Different levels, right? But for those who are actually in the middle of walking into this thing, this greater thing, He is giving you a reality check. He's giving you a reality check that it's actually here. And so that requires us like rubbing our eyes a little bit and realizing that our perception is going to change. There's a transformation going on because who you are in this new thing is different than who you were before you were in this new thing. So many times when we do things without Christ, if you're living, some of us may remember that if you have not been in a life following Christ forever, but there may have been times in the past, He wants you to remember, there have been times in the past where you have decided to take things in your own hands. You've decided to take things into your own hands because that's all you had. It was just you and your judgment, and probably other people who were influencing your decisions. And so when that happened, let's say you hit a wall and you got hurt as far as things failing or not working out, there was not that reliance on God at the time. So you coped differently. Whenever you had transitions and you entered different doorways, whether by God or the enemy, since you did not have a relationship with God at the time, you didn't know how to approach that preparation period. And He even showed me sometimes there were people who, let's say you had a bad breakup and you didn't have Christ. And I will, raise my hand in this situation as well. You start to view your coping mechanisms as something that you're learning in the process. Some people go to therapy, some people figure out different things. They start to venture off into different ways of feeling better and healing, but it's not necessarily something of God. And so now He wants to just remind you that that's possible when you're not in Christ. But since you are walking in Christ, and since you are transitioning while walking in Christ, the level of preparation is different. He has confidence that you will do well in this new, greater level. He has confidence that you can do it because He wouldn't have brought you here if He didn't believe in you, right? But he wants you to change your perception in the fact that you're not going to be the same person anymore. And he's very serious about this. It comes from love, but instead of just walking into this something greater and having ignorance and being taken over by feelings, by the same type of thinking that you may have had in the past, he's telling you what you shall prepare for. So he brought me to Luke chapter 14, verse 28. This is when Jesus is speaking with his disciples about the cost of being a disciple. He says, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, 'This person began to build and wasn't able to finish.'" So I'm gonna stop there. That's exactly what he's talking about in terms of preparation. It's seeing the cost of what you are doing or what you're walking into. If the Lord trusts you to have, this is metaphorical, this is not literal, but if he trusts you to have, let's say, $1,000 in your hands, in your bank, and he says, okay, whatever your name is, he says, take this is what I'm giving you, and now you are off into this new opportunity. It is up to you. It is up to you on how you are going to spend it. Okay? We're kind of getting off the train now, where being faithful in Christ and waiting for these things to happen, we have been so reliant on God to just make it happen. So now that it's here, now that you're walking through it, he is really adamant about you taking your responsibility in this walk. The things that you are about to encounter, he says, are things that require your strength as well. You will need to lift one foot and then the other. He says nap time is over. It's time to actually walk and to make decisions, not just one day, but continuously, because this is your new role. So things are going to be placed on your lap in this new perception, this new thing, whatever it is that is special to you, that God knows. You're going to have to make decisions and to be confident. But he doesn't want you to think that you are Superman or Superwoman, in that, yes, you have waited so long and this is finally, it's the time of encounter. It doesn't mean that since he prepared you, you are a perfect person, that you will not need God. But he wants you to walk in confidence in him, and also take it easy on yourself, because it's kind of like a slingshot. And that this is why people fail when they're not following Christ in specific transitions or opportunities, is because when we don't have something and we really want it, we're really held back. And then once we get that opportunity, we kind of waste all of that energy quickly. It goes flying. So he's saying he wants you to be careful, take it easy on yourself as far as the pressure, that you don't have to just use it all up in the beginning. You don't have to waste the desire in the beginning. He wants to show you that you have to be wise. You have to be wise. So this preparation period for those who are actually walking into something right now, it's time to, shift your lens a little bit and realize that now you are in a position of power, but you will always need counsel around you. You will always need the Lord to keep you up, and you will also need to use your own will and your strength and wisdom in Christ, so that you can move in a manner that honors God and that shows God all of the fruit of your previous preparation. This is the time where he is going to sit back. Now, he's been performing all this time. He's been preparing you. He's been setting up the table in front of your enemies. He's been setting up this room, this space, this promise, this blessing. He's been making it happen, whether you know it or not. Now it's here. He's going to sit back, he's going to cross his arms, and he's going to allow you to show him how you can maneuver this. But he doesn't want you to put too much pressure on yourself, and he doesn't want you to have too much high expectations that you will not need Christ. He's still with you, but he wants to walk with you step by step by step. So he's just telling us to be careful, and that this is how we shall prepare going into this right now. I pray that this makes sense and that this blesses whoever's watching, because it's a timely word. God bless.